So finding a comfortable position to sit in. Oh, there's a message. Oh, finding somewhere comfortable to sit in the screen. I'll start again. Closing your eyes. In this class, some of you have done it before. I mean, every time I teach it, it's different, but this is a theme I like to keep bringing up. Body love stretch. So this chance to come into all of your joints, to move them, to oil them, to get these inner juices flowing, and then we'll come into longer hold postures in the second half. But as you move around, when we get to that part, can it be like a love letter to yourself, or this real gentle, curious, like, oh yeah, how does that feel? And especially when we get to those parts that are, they're tighter, they're achy, they're crunchy, and not beating ourselves up, because we do have a natural tendency, unfortunately, to do that, to be really hard and critical. So just notice if critical thoughts come up, or that critic in you comes up. Oh, critic, yeah, I understand you're here. You're just trying your best to make me better. But you know what? I'm okay. And come join me in some rotation. So whatever comes up, the hardness, the insecurity, just this welcoming, warm embrace. See how that feels. So landing in a brief meditation, the sense that all parts are welcome. The parts that like to do yoga, but also the parts that don't like to do yoga, they're welcome. They can go along with the ride. Feeling into your body before you begin. How is it? Is it tight? Is it loose? Are there any body parts that are a little more sensitive or need a bit more attention? Let them tell you that. And of course, our physical body is not separate from our hearts. So tuning into this emotional body of yours that is affected by the physical body and affects the physical body. How's your heart? And whatever emotions are there, whatever mix, welcome. And tuning in to your mind, just what thoughts are there right now? Many thoughts, not many, clear or foggy. And there's no expectation to be thought free here. We're beings, we're humans, we have thoughts. They come, they go. We don't have to get sticky with them. Oh, thoughts. And also noticing where you're practicing right now. What's it like? Wherever you're sitting, the light, the temperature, sounds, smells, tastes. I'm a part of this world. I'm affecting the energy around me, and I'm affected by the energy information around me. Giving and getting constantly going on. And feeling your breath. And you can take a few deeper breaths. Really filling up as much as you can with an inhale. You can sigh into your exhale. Inhale deeply. And exhale. 2 more times. Letting your breath become quiet again. We'll move with our breath. So on the inhale, just gently lengthening the spine, opening up the chest, lengthening the throat. And exhale, rounding, dropping the head forward. Inhale, lengthening, opening up the front of the body. Exhale, rounding, stretching, opening up the back of the body. Keep going at a pace that works for you. And seeing if here as well, if you can have a delight in the fact that you can move. And I forgot to mute you, so I'll do that now. Lengthening, opening this space for the heart and lungs. And exhale, rounding, space for the shoulders, the back, the neck. And if you want, you don't have to because it is a yin class, but maybe there is that desire to stretch out even more. It's like, yes, life, I love you. Even when it's difficult. And then every exhale is this returning back to you. Yes, body, I love you. Even when I forget about you sometimes. So an appreciation for being alive. Appreciation for the fact that we can move. And a care and attentiveness in how we move. Three more like this. It can be big or small. And landing back up. And just notice already what difference that makes. I know I'm always amazed, like, oh yeah, that's different. And we'll come into the head, drop the head forward and circle the head around. So what you can change or control is the speed of the circles, the size of the circles. But what you can't change is how crunchy or loud it is as you circle. Knowing that it's not dangerous, all the crunching can be helpful. You don't have to like the sound the neck makes when it turns. It's so important that we get into our joints and rotate them. I think a rusty bicycle chain is a great metaphor. So we want to not only bring the chain in movement, but also time to give it oil. And this is for me like oiling the joints. Feeling how your breath is rising and falling. And then circling the other way. Again, it can be small circles, big circles. If it's not comfortable for your neck to go all the way back, don't go all the way back. Maybe somewhere along the way you want to pause because you feel like, oh yeah, it's really tight there. Just rest there for a little bit. And then move on. Throat soft, tongue relaxed, breath flowing naturally in and out. One more circle. Letting the head lift up. What difference did that make? And coming into the shoulders. The attentiveness. You really want to feel what is your range of motion in your shoulders. The care for any tightness that may be there. Be little circles, they can be really slow, or maybe they're bigger, a little more vigorous. What feels integral? And the other way. I'm always amazed how just a simple movement of circling my shoulders warms me up. So as those of us living in the Northern Hemisphere coming into winter, it's a little trick in our pocket. Oh, if we get cold, move the upper body around a bit. Circle the shoulders. And then freestyle, flowing any which way. I encourage you to close your eyes for it, to feel it from the inside out. Maybe as you're rolling your arms around, the arms stretch out as well. Maybe they don't. So what feels appropriate? How to come into the shoulders. How's your breath flowing? And then pausing. What is that like? Inviting an openness into the shoulders, into the neck. And we'll come to the wrists. As some of you know, I call these the Charlottas, named after Tom's grandmother. She lived just short of 95 on her own to the end and was this delightful, sprightly, beautiful being. And when I was visiting her one time and circled the other way, I asked her, I said, Charlotta, what's your secret? How, here you are, 94, living on your own, so present. What's the gem? And she said, oh, every morning I wake up and I do my exercises. I was like, oh, tell me, Charlotta, what are your exercises? I wake up in bed and I go like this. And like that. And then she told me a few other very simple exercises, but I was only 24 and that did not, you can get the elbows going, that did not seem magical. So I just let it go. And some of you have heard the story before, but allow me to repeat because I know it's new for some of you. So then 10 years later, you get the arms, shoulders, and wrists going. 10 years later, I'm doing my yoga teacher training, the first one, and the first book I read is all about rotating feet this way, rotating feet that way, and again, bored. That's not yoga. That's not interesting. I was bored by it, I ignored it, I let it go. And then any stretches you want for this last bit of the story. And then another 5 years later, I'm reading this highly academic book from Dr. Motoyama about awakening the chakras and the meridians and fascia. And what does he talk about? Joint rotations, wrist rotations. And it was his third time hearing it. I was like, Charlotta, you knew something. And the scientific explanation for it is that because our meridians run through our body and their joint sites are places where they easily get stagnated, that simple joint rotations can have an effect for the well-being of all your organs. And the upper body meridians, the ones that go through the arms, are your heart, your lungs, your large and small intestine. So, oh yeah, wrist rotation is pretty important. So let us, inspired by thinkers and lovely old ladies, care for our joints. You could stretch that out. It's the end of my story. And land and feel the rebound. How do you feel now? And something else that we've learned from science is that where we bring our attention, energy flows there. So you can just bring your attention through the arms, the wrists, the shoulders, the neck, and visualizing energy free flowing here. So there's this ease in the upper body, relaxation in the throat, the neck, softness in the shoulders, the arms, the elbows, the wrists, the fingers. And breathing into the arms and shoulders. Caring for them with attention and breath. Noticing what it's like to be still after all that movement. And then we'll keep on moving. The Sufi circle, so circling your torso around. Feeling what that is like. So really important for our digestive organs. Again, physically what we want is the organs and the fascia that wraps around them all to slide over each other. We don't want anything sticky or gooey in there. We want it slick and slippery. So visualize that everything can easily flow. It's helpful against, anything that gets stuck or constipated. Oh yeah, flowing goodness. And then the other way. What's it like to swirl around this way? Usually one direction's easier than the other. And maybe you're not feeling it not only in the organs, but maybe you're feeling it on the side of the torso, or the front, or the back. So circling and well-wishing for your gut, your belly, your lower back. 3 more circles. And pause, rest, feel. Is there any sense of vibrancy in the belly? And if not, then just wishing that in there. May I be awake in my belly center. We'll come up into our heart center and circle around there. So bring the arms up and you can clasp the hands together or bring the palms up to the ceiling. Keeping your head between the arms, these circles to try to come into the ribs. They're not big circles, they're not always easy. Can you feel how the ribs can separate and contract? This is excellent for the lungs, for the heart. Maybe you yawn here. I mean, this is a classic yawn shape. Maybe I yawn. That helps you yawn with your mirror neurons. Mirror neurons. Spiegelneuron. And circle the other way. Body love stretch. Getting into this body of yours as it is at this moment in this practice. And then stretch and release. Whew. How does this feel? Where is it awake in your body? Where is it still dull? Where does it feel good? Where does it hurt? Inviting all of it. One more. Sitting, leaning to the side. You can lean to the left, bring the right arm over and just hang here for a bit. If it's okay for your head, it can hang down, but if that feels unsafe or uncomfortable, you can lift up the head in line with the spine. So what works for your body? The target is the stretch along the side of the torso, into the armpit, the side of the arm. How's your breath here? What can you soften? What can you appreciate in this stretch, in this moment? Maybe you come down, I just slipped a bit down on my elbow. Maybe that's available for you, or maybe no, maybe it's better to be up in the hand. And then we're gonna lean just a little bit back to see how that changes the experience. Hopefully you feel the stretch in a slightly different spot. Again, if it's not comfortable for your head, you can look down, look forward or up. And then round and lean just a little bit forward. Softening here into the stretch. And then with an inhale, coming up and out, pausing in the middle. Hopefully feeling a little lopsided because we've only done one side. Maybe you can appreciate that lopsidedness. Oh yeah. Great way to deepen our interoception, our ability to feel from the inside out. Feel that difference. And then we'll lean to the other side. Bring the other arm over. So either up on your hand or down on your elbow. Your head can be in line with the spine, or if it's comfortable, it can hang down. This arm can be straight or bent. You may find that bent is more effective the stretch. Straight is more effective. Jaw soft, tongue relaxed. Breathing into this, just as it is. Then here as well, what's it like to lean back a little bit? How does that change the stretch, the experience? What's it like to lean forward? Just a little bit, not completely forward, just enough to change the stretch. Arm can be straight, can be bent, you can look down, forward or up. Few more breaths, experiencing this just as it is. And then coming up, pausing here, feeling any lopsidedness or balance there. Feeling your body from the inside out. Feeling your breath. One of the most intimate acts we can do. Breathing with awareness. See if you can connect the intimacy of breath. And what a generous act it is to breathe, to pay attention to your breath, to pay attention to your body. And I feel that we've been given so much information of why we should not love our bodies. Let us undo as much of that as possible so that we can delight in our breath. We can delight in our bodies just as they are, these aging, soft, messy bodies. This is where we live. And so let's continue to care for these aging, soft, messy bodies. And we'll do that lying down. So come to lie down. And stretch the legs up. They might need that after sitting for half an hour. Here you go, body. Some gravity, some space. Here you go, breath, a different angle to breathe through. What can you relax here? What can you allow to be heavy? You really feel the support of the ground beneath you. And bending the knees around hip distance apart. Baby bridge breaths. Inhale, tilting the pelvis forward. Exhale, flattening the lower back. Inhale, arching. Exhale, flattening. This could be super subtle. Maybe so small that it's hard for anyone, if they were to look, if they could see you moving. Being curious with how deep you can feel into your pelvic muscles. What needs to move to make this subtle movement possible? 3 more breaths here. And pausing. What's this like now? And we'll twist side to side, dropping the legs to one side. Inhale them up. And letting them lower to the other side. Back and forth with the breath, with your awareness. How can this be done as an act of love towards yourself? Noticing where your attention has wandered to. Maybe calling it back to the breath, to the movement. Two more each side. And landing back in the middle. What's this rebound like? And hugging the right leg in. And you can keep the left leg bent or straighten it out, whatever's more comfortable for you. And circle the right foot around. Again, like the neck, you can control the circles, but you can't control the sounds. Let your ankles speak to you. So as I was saying, the wrists are there for the upper body meridians, and the ankles is where the lower body meridians run through. So it's really important for your kidneys, your bladder, your spleen and stomach, your liver, gallbladder, so all the digestion organs, and the kidneys and bladders for the health of your blood. So, oh yeah, we want things to flow. We want our ankles to be free. Circle the other way. And point and flex your foot. Squeeze the toes together by pointing. Spread them by flexing. And then shake the foot out a bit. You shake it out. And let the leg just hang there. And circling the bent leg. So you can do it holding onto your knee, or some people prefer to not hold on to the leg. So it's up to you. Not holding or holding. It's to come into the right hip joint, get things moving through there. Circle the other way. Yeah, body love stretch. Milking the theme as much as I can. Like, how can you care for your hip through this movement? How can you attend to what's in there? One more circle. And then holding the back of the leg, extending your leg up for that stretch along the back of the leg. Maybe it's allowed to be bent, maybe it's straight. Shoulders relax, face relax. Just a few breaths here. Lovingly, gently breathing into where you experience the stretching. Three more breaths here. And then release your leg down. And delight in the difference from the right leg to the left leg. Feel the difference. Feel your breath. And then the left leg. Hug your left leg in. Circle your left foot around, listening to what this ankle has to say through its cracks and grinds and so on. And circle the other way. Remembering you're not only carrying the ankle itself, but all the fascial lines up through the legs, all the meridian lines that go into your organs. So this is complex, intertwined system that you live in. Loving it, caring for it as best as you can. Pausing, shaking the foot out. Oh, I can shake my other foot out better than this side. How is it by you? And then relaxing, we'll circle the left leg around. So either holding on to the knee or not. And circle the other way. Checking that the face is relaxed, the jaw is soft. Really love it when I look over, I can see some knees moving around, like that connection from my living room to yours. Pausing here. And then extend the leg up. Again, it can be bent or straight. Point and flex the foot. We didn't do that when it was bent, so we can do it straight. Feel that difference from the front of the leg when it's pointed to the stretch of the back of the leg when it's flexed. And then let the foot be still. Breathing into this with care, with kindness. Three more breaths. And then letting your leg float down and feel that difference. What's it like now to give your weight over to the earth? How's your breath flowing now? We'll come in a few longer held postures, just 2 minutes each, so relative with what's long. Lying butterfly, feet together, knees out. Finding where it's comfortable for the arms. It can be down or up or above. The target area is the inner thighs, so you can adjust with having the feet further away or closer to your pelvis, and then choosing what is effective to get that inner growing stretch, and then making sure it's comfortable for the rest. So I'm going to get me a timer. What can you soften here? What can you let melt into the ground beneath you? And to come out of the posture, you can use your hands to bring the knees up. And then pausing either with the legs up or with the legs down. What's this rebound like? Rolling over onto your belly. Taking a moment to land here. The heels can roll in or out. The legs can be close together, hip distance or wider. Finding for yourself that path of least resistance where your legs most want to go. Feeling how your breath is flowing here. And then coming into back bend. So you can come into sleeping sphinx, arm on top of arm, forehead on the arms, or up into sphinx onto your elbows, either hanging in the shoulders or pushing out of them, whatever feels more supportive for your shoulders. Or if the flexibility is there and you like seal pose, you can come all the way up into seal. We're going to hold it for 2 minutes. So again, not very long. Just little drops in. Don't forget breastplate. Drops into the yin stretches. But even 2 minutes can have quite a big effect on your nervous system, as well as the fascia and the meridians. So also as a reminder, when you don't have the hour that you've carved out, which is great that you've carved out an hour today for this class, but other moments, 2 minute stretch here, the joint rotation there. So keep feeding your body with stretching, rotating, movement, strengthening, honoring this incredible body you've been given. And deepening your relationship with it. So letting it be an authentic relationship. Letting your body be, as I said, this aging, soft messiness. Seeing if we can move towards appreciating aging and caring for that process and what it offers us. Because aging is really what we're doing, breath by breath. It's not a bad thing. It's our path. So, oh yeah, let me walk on this path, breath by breath, getting to know my ever-changing self, my ever-changing body more and more. Two more breaths here. Noticing at the end of 2 minutes what it's like. And then carefully coming out, those in seal using the strength of the arms to come out, otherwise just sliding the elbows to the side. How's your breath now? Rolling back onto your back. We'll come into a lying twist. So bringing the knees up, letting the feet float in the air. Bring the knees over to one side. If you get stuck, you can just bring the hips away. So if I'm going to the left, I bring my hips to the right. Then I bring the knees up and over. And if the ground is too far, you put a pillow under your legs, or you put a pillow between your legs, or you put a pillow behind your back shoulder. And then we'll stay here for 2 minutes. The target area for twist is the spine. We get to it by the hips, one direction, the shoulders the other. And different stretches, different compressions can be felt. So what's going on here for you in this twist? Breathing into that. With care, with kindness. One more breath here, feeling what it's like. And then using an inhale to come up, pausing briefly. And then the other side. So you may want to bring your hips to one side and then bring the legs up and over. Again, you can pad between the legs, under the legs, behind your back shoulder. Making it effective with the hips going one way, the shoulders the other way. And then after you have that effectiveness of this twist, sighing into it, softening into it. Maybe it's even pleasant, letting it be pleasant. One more breath here. And using your inhale to come up. Giving yourself a big hug. Maybe sighing into yourself. Lekkadu. Delicious you. Body love stretch. Permission to like yourself. Permission to love yourself. Permission to care for yourself on many levels. For your own and others' benefit. And then releasing this hug and coming into Shavasana. So if you want to have a blanket on top or a pillow under your head, go for it. Resting here. Gravity's holding you. Breath is breathing you. How are you now? And what do you feel? Whatever's here, can you offer it care and spaciousness? And connecting with your breath. Letting your breath deepen. And with that, begin to stretch, to bend, to rotate. What's your body longing for this moment? And can you give it? And then in your own way, your own tempo, coming up to sitting. Landing here all together. Bringing your hands together, taking a breath in, and exhale, bowing to you, celebrating your you-ness, and bowing to life with love. Namaste.